Hey everybody, Joe Collins here from Avalon Accounting, and I wanted to walk you through our template for calculating your Canada Emergency Wage Subsidy. The applications are going live on Monday, April 27th, and I want you to be prepared, of course, for that. So I'll link below to this sheet. You just would go ahead and grab yourself a copy, file, make a copy here, and you can change your name, change the name and all that stuff when you take a copy. So essentially what we have here is a summary sheet, which is your front sheet, and then some supporting sheets that will lead up to give you what the numbers are here. Any yellow is where you would want to make entries, and kind of leave the rest. Anything that's not highlighted, you would leave as for information purposes or is a calculated amount. So, step one is determining your eligibility. So whether you're an eligible employer or not, there's a definition linked here, and you can back that up in tab 1.1 with a determination you're based the basis that you're making that determination can be here. Step two, or kind of part two of step one, is determining whether you have eligible employees. So again, that's in tab 1.1 here. And what we're going to do is list any of our employees that we are paying. And each period we have to reassess whether they're eligible. And the determination, there's a definition here, but pretty much there can't be a period where you, a 14-day period in that claim period that you weren't paying them. Otherwise, they would be eligible for the CERB or EI, as the case may be. So want to determine eligibility there and make the determination that you have eligible employees. So that's good. That's rather here. And then step 1.3, if you speak in accounting terms, and which is on tab 1.2 here, is your eligible revenue reduction. So here, I'll take you through this list here. There's a little how-to, but pretty much the yellow pieces here are what you're going to be determining from, and you'll enter in your sales on an accrual basis for last year for the same period, earlier this year, and then the subsidy periods here as well. Likewise, you want to enter the cash basis, so hopefully you can pull these from your accounting or bookkeeping software, but if not, you can calculate that the long-handed way and enter those numbers here. These are going to let you know where which periods you're eligible for on which method, and you want to go with the one that gives you lots of room to wiggle. So here, for example, based method 2A gives us lots of wiggle room. We've lost lots of revenue on a cash basis compared to prior year. So that's where the method we would use and try to be consistent with that. Although, of course, there's a bit of an unknown in the sense that you don't know what the economy are going to bring. And here you just enter that you're eligible for the period for period number one, based on criteria, 2A or method 2A. And this is here just to remind you to be consistent in each period. So that takes us through all of step one, is determining our eligibility. Step two is calculating our eligible gross payroll for eligible employees. So once we've determined they're eligible employees, we want to enter in their wages for the period. So this is the summary. So there's nothing to enter in this 2.1, but that's going to be calculated on a basis of the 2.2 here. And I have hidden a couple other tabs if you do have biweekly or you want to batch employees together. It's another way to do it. I'm not covering that here though. So here you'd enter all those eligible employees, their name. Do they deal at arm's length? So are they an owner? So Barbara Boss here is an owner, so I'm going to put her as no. I'll show you how that makes a difference in a second. So Jane, the same. She makes the same as she made on an average basis in the earlier part of the year, and she's making that throughout. So you can see she's got a 75% subsidy, $750 out of $1,000, which is great. Jim Rise, he's getting a raise because he's working extra hard and doing some extra hours. So you'll see, it doesn't matter what he made here. he's going to get 75% of his new upgraded wage. Joe Lowe, he is got a bit of a reduction in pay. Maybe he's working a little bit less, or maybe we just can't afford to pay his whole salary during this period. He's going to get 100% of this $750 because his baseline was $1,000, so that's based on the $1,000 there. So that's great. Nancy Newhire, she didn't work for us in the first part of the year, but since we have maybe some extra work to do, or somebody else left and we had to replace them, you'll see we get 75% of what we pay her, which is fantastic. So Barbara Boss, she's the owner, so she's not dealing at arm's length. She made an average of $500 a week for the first part of the year, and she's working extra hard, so she's given herself a bit of a raise here. You'll see that because she's dealing at arm's length, she won't get the full 75% of what she's paid. It'll be based on her baseline income from the first part of the year. So that's how that kind of works. And if you need to, you can calculate here. This is a pretty rough one that I just put together today, but you can adapt it for your purposes. And you want to see kind of what the weekly average pay will be here that you can enter into this in 2.2. So back to our summary tab, we are right here now. So now that we've filled out all those amounts, it's going to pull in this information that we have 5 employees, that the eligible remuneration is $17,800, and our total base subsidy is $13,500. So that's great. Next, we're going to go to premiums and contributions. This is EI and CPP that we've paid on behalf of our employees during this period. So in 3.1, I put this together today. So please check my numbers. This is all very quick putting together for Monday, but we've got Jane the same here as an example for wages through the period for 4,000. And we've recalculated based on this calculation here. So check my numbers, that her EI premiums that we've paid on her behalf are $88.48. So that'll calculate here. That's the total. And likewise with her CPP, we've calculated in her exemption amount and the rate for the year, and then the max. So we want to make sure we're not going over the max as well. So that's all included here. If you can pull that directly from your payroll, that's great. For example, Barbara Boss maybe is EI exempt, so she wouldn't have paid any EI. She's not pensionable for the company, so you want to make sure you don't claim those as contributions, or contributions on premiums on the EI side. So kind of going through there, you want to just make sure your numbers, and if you can pull these numbers directly from your payroll system, that's even better. But you might have to recalc because days can be off the period of that we're talking about. So it's another part. Step 4, deductions. So you want to make sure that you're not double claiming anything. We know we have a 10% wage subsidy, and we have lots of clients that are applying for that. And we need to be able to deduct those from that. So this is just a holding place to put in the data that you get. It should be pulled from your payroll system, how much you got for the period for the wage subsidy. But otherwise, you just want to enter that amount here in the 10% wage subsidy bit. There is a work sharing received. That's another bit of the calculation. We haven't seen much of that, so if it's applicable to you, you'll probably know. But that'll reduce the amount of subsidy that you get. And then this is just I haven't put it in here, but it should be the base sub plus these amounts, less these amounts will be the subsidy that you can expect to receive. So that's how the spreadsheet works. Please let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully this is helpful for you in applying. And the reason we want to do this, of course, is so that we have audit proof for what we applied for, and we don't get stuck in any sticky situations when CRA comes calling and auditing later. So and one other bit. So for period 2 and period 3, I haven't put those spreadsheets in here yet. As you can see, this is version 2020-3 from the CRA, or from the Canada.ca website, and they'll be updating this continually. So wanted to make sure that we get the latest versions in there, which is just a copy and paste, just creating a new tab, which is this plus sign down here, and then copy and pasting the new wage subsidy in there would be great. and that should work for periods 2 and 3. All the best with that. Hopefully that works for you. Stay safe out there, and hopefully you get this wage subsidy. It helps you get through this pretty difficult time. So thanks very much for watching, and reach out with questions if you have. Thanks so much.